that would be absolutely diabolical, because after I tell you that, how am I even in your top 3?
Thanks, Justine. Appreciate it. You just do whatever he says? Is that what you do?
Of course not, bro.
Sort of looks like so.
Garbi had a good chance of winning, but sadly she signed her fate by sticking to someone because she's loyal to someone who we all know. If you've watched Casey, you know that Casey is not loyal to anyone but Tommy's best friend. So the idea that she thinks the stunt that she pulled showed that she was loyal and she was going to do, stick by her guy's best friend, that's going to backfire. I don't think that will give her a win. And what do I think? I think people have sort of overlooked Isaiah. Isaiah has been the biggest game player in the villa because he's the one who took the first shot at Chris and was involved in getting Kendall to go home. So the idea that he's decided to target Johnny tells you that he is the smartest game player out of everyone else in the villa. He is the smartest game player. Yes, Ty is smart, but Isaiah has played a silent, very smart game. And for Josh needs to go home. I hope he goes home because he's becoming too emotional. And the fact that he thinks that Ty, he's had an issue with Ty from day one when they walked into the villa. So the audacity to try and play victim and say Ty is going after him, I do not get it. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Game, Season 2, Episode 14. Okay, so Kendall has gone. Obviously, Nicola's gone. She was taken out by the medics. And so the islanders have sort of gone back into the villa. And you have Johnny pull the power squad for a chat. But then he tells Andrea that unfortunately you can't come with us. You are with Josh, so you have to stay back. She's not impressed by it. She doesn't feel that it's fair because she was a part of the team. Yes, she was a part of a team, but she is not playing her game. She is playing Josh's game. And if I were her, I would ask myself, which is in my best interest? If she's there for love, then stick with Josh. If she's there for money, then you need to make big moves. I don't think she's made any big moves at the moment. Anyway, so you have the power squad sit at the fire pit and they are saying, what we're going to do is we're going to stick to our same gameplay. We're going to keep going at these people until we get them out. And their next target is Josh. Am I surprised? No. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You have Josh sitting on the deck with Andrea and he's saying, they're jealous of us because, they know we're going to win. They're afraid of us. So we need to win so that we can send Toby versus Ty. And it's like this guy has had an issue with Ty from day one. He's had an issue tied since day one. From the moment he said, oh, you only won because I was finding your pits for you. And it wasn't a joke like, haha. It was him being very upset by it. And so the fact that he's had this silent beef with Ty and Ty hasn't fed into it, I don't get how suddenly now he's aggrieved and he wants Ty to go versus Toby. Either way, if Ty or Toby win, that's good for them because they will still share the money. So I don't get what he's talking about. You had Garbi and Lucinda sit down for a chat because the power squad was told by Johnny that be mindful that these people are going to start to pull on your heartstrings. So don't look back, keep going. Lucinda sits down for a chat with Garbi. They are friends. Well, she was best friends with Kendall for reasons we don't know. So she's saying, I really miss Kendall. I feel bad that he's gone. And it's like, Lucinda, do you really feel bad he's gone? I don't think so. And so you have Garbi say the boys are coming for us. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. At the end of the day, they have to do what's in their best interest. It's everyone for themselves. And if you're lucky when you win, you can decide whether to share the money with your partner or not. And so the idea that she's playing victim and like, oh, me, why are they picking on me? What do you think, Sherlock Holmes? You and your guy are part of the strongest alliance or the strongest couple. What did you expect everybody else to do? Your guy had very good social game and you were part of that and you stuck to him because you knew he could keep you safe in the villa. So I don't get why you're surprised. You then have Josh have this conversation with Isaiah saying, so you are now part of Ty's group. You and I have been friends since before we came into the villa. And I always had your back. So whatever moves I was making them with you. And it's like, no, you are not. You're looking out for yourself. Don't make it seem like you're looking out for Isaiah. Every time you're speaking to Chris, you're saying Team USA, Team USA, Team USA. And in that Team USA, what number was Isaiah, if you were to be asked? Because you and Chris were each other's number one. So where would Isaiah fall on that scale? For him to say, Isaiah and I are friends, just like Toby and Ty are friends. And so it's surprising that Toby and Ty are loyal to one another and is not. And it's like, that's because they pull each other for chats. They talk to one another. They keep each other updated on whatever moves they're going to make. You can't expect someone to read your mind and just know that you're looking out for his best interest. And I don't get why he decided to go after Isaiah. Poor Isaiah. Isaiah, I'm happy that he stuck up for himself and he said, I have to look out for what's in my best interest at the end of the game. You didn't include me in any conversations we were having. So what did you expect me to do? We then have Toby and Sydney go for a chat to Soul Ties, and Sydney is saying that she's really worried because, she doesn't want to participate in a duel, so she hopes she is able to stay safe because she doesn't want to participate in any duels, and she's trying to get Toby to promise that he's going to keep her safe. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's something that you have to, look out for what's in your best interest. And then Josh, for him to go into the bathroom and be trying to sort of get Johnny on his side doesn't make sense because he knows for a fact that Johnny is just as strong as he is. So one of them is going to be left standing. For him to try and sort of play mind games, his mind games are so obvious. They're not like Ty. Ty will tell you the truth and still play you. Well, you know the truth. For him to say, oh, Johnny, these boys are just using you. At the end of the day, you're a weapon they're using to get me out, and they're going to get you out. Yeah, well, if he goes out, that it is what it is. He has to do what's in his best interest, because if he makes you his number one, what's to promise or what's to say you're not going to turn on him? You could easily turn on him and go back to the boys. So the Islanders get ready for bed. You have Garbi still very upset because Kendall is gone. And it's like, girl, you'll see him. It's only 3 days. You'll see him and you can do whatever you want with him. So don't make such a big deal as though, you were already married to him. In the morning, the Islanders get up, they make breakfast. The girls are sort of talking about gameplay and how the boys are playing games, and they need to be mindful of their game and make sure that they are not being played by other people. Johnny had a conversation with the guys. He had a conversation with Ty and Toby and was asking them, so am I part of your top 3? Do you see yourselves going to the top 3 with me or not? And they promised him that they would go to the top 3 with him, which was music to his ears. That's what he wanted to hear. You then had Ty and Toby go to the sauna, and they were having a conversation because Ty was saying, I don't know whether Sydney's the best partner for you. I love her and I know you really like her, but I don't think game-wise she's the best partner. And Toby was saying, yeah, because she's always talking about slaying looks, so I'm worried that all she's interested in is looking pretty and not the actual focusing on the games and getting us to that W. And they then had a conversation about him possibly swapping partners, because there was this conversation about Garbi being stronger than Sydney, having 1-2 duels, and maybe she would have been a better option for him. Do I see it? Yeah, I see it. But I think at this point, it's a bit too late because he's the one who gave her the Judas kiss. And so the idea that she would want to couple up with him, I think she wasn't smart. I think if I were her, I would have coupled up with him. When we win the money, I would just take the money and leave him. Because at the end of the day, he betrayed me by getting rid of my partner. That is what a smart person would do. Anyway, he pulls Garbi for a chat and tells her that, I'm thinking of possibly, coupling up with you. I'm not sure at the moment, but I'm just thinking. And Garbi saying, oh, you betrayed me, you kissed me, you made me vulnerable. Now you're talking about coupling up with me, and you're the reason why I'm single. And it's like, okay, it's not that deep, Garbi. It's really not that deep. I get where Toby was coming from, in the sense that he's thinking, if I couple up with her, I'm in a better couple. I'm in a stronger couple. Yeah, he will be in a stronger couple, but do I think he's going to beat Tyreek or Johnny? I don't think so. I think he's way too small. Maybe he might outsmart Tyreek since he knows Tyreek very well, but I don't know about him winning, and I don't think this was a good idea. I don't think it was a good idea on Toby's part, but I think on Garbi's part, this was the best thing to happen to her. She should have accepted that offer, won the money and then left him, or at least won at least a portion of the money instead of her pledging allegiance to Casey. Because she then went to Casey and she said, Toby pulled me for a chat and he said he wants to couple up with me. He thinks I'm stronger than Sydney and I'm thinking of telling Sydney. And it's like, seriously, what do you think? What do you think? Why would you think that's a good idea to tell this guy? You think Casey is the best person? She needs to sit down and watch Casey on all 3 seasons of Love Island that he's appeared on and realize that he's played a lot of girls and left a lot of girls crying because of his stupid game. So the idea that she thought that she was his it, I personally didn't understand it. So Casey receives a text message. Islanders, tonight the villa will host a Vegas night. Will you show your hand or keep your cards close to your chest? It's time to roll the dice and gamble on the game. And it's like, oh, it's about to be messy. Everyone was now nervous because they didn't know who they were going to be targeting. So after the text message, you have the Islanders sort of go into little groups. You have Tyreek having a conversation with Johnny. And Johnny has been trying to get Kendall out, and they were able to get Kendall out. Ty has been trying to get Josh out, and this is his opportunity. So he was in agreement with Johnny that they are going for Josh. That's who they're going on. If they have to gamble, he's the one they're going to gamble to try and get out. Toby had a conversation with Tyreek while they were getting ready because he's still worried about his coupling and is seriously considering coupling up with Garbi. And it's like, well, if only you knew what Garbi was doing, because Garbi on the girl side was pulling Sydney for a chat, and she told Sydney, I just want you to give you a heads up and let you know that your guy wanted to couple up with me. He pulled me for a chat and he told me he wanted to couple up with me. And it's like, this is not good. This is not good because it's really bad in the sense that Toby has not told Sydney what he did, and now she's going to be upset when she has to work as part of a team. Anyway, you have Justine receive a message. Islanders, it's time to go all in tonight. Is your last chance to recouple. The boys receive a text message. Please head to the garden and sit with the girl you want to couple up with. So the boys were the ones that were given the option of choosing who they wanted to couple up with. The girls went, sat down on their chairs, and then the boys came out. Sadly for Toby, he tried to make a strategic move, and Garbi had already had a conversation and agreed with Casey that they were going to couple up. So when he sat down, Garbi stood up and made such a big scene for reasons best known to her. If I were her, I would have sat down and just left the guys to fight over it. For her to say, I don't want you, this, that, and the other. Even if she gets to a point whereby they need to vote, these people are going to vote her out. Because Toby's a nicer guy than most. If that were Tyreek is petty. Tyreek would have sent her home on the next flight out of Fiji. So for her to think that's a strategic move, I didn't get it. And I don't understand why she made a big deal like that. And then you ended up with Casey and Toby fighting over a chair. And Casey sat down and is, what were you thinking? Did you think she'd want you? And it's like, Casey, you don't even like her. You're only with her because she's your best chance of winning. So the idea that you're trying to make it seem like, you're being kind, you're this generous guy, you're this caring guy, I'm not buying it. Anyway, after the fight for the chair, you had Toby go and sit with Sydney. Sydney was crying. She was upset because she had already been told that this is happening. So she was upset. She was now yelling at Toby, you're very stupid. Look at how foolish you look because you've played yourself. And Toby really did feel foolish. At that point, you could see Tyreek was panicking because he realized that this had backfired and sort of exploded in his friend's face. And he was worried that his friend would be going home. So the Islanders then get to play 3 games. The first game is sort of like a foosball game whereby they sort of have balls that they have to sort of maneuver into somebody's cup, and then whoever gets the most balls is the most vulnerable person. First up was Toby and Sydney. They gave Garbi and Casey 1 ball, and then they gave 2 balls to Andrea and Josh. Lucinda and Eze gave Garbi and Casey 3 balls. Casey and Garbi gave Toby and Sydney all their balls. Andrea and Josh gave Sydney and Toby. Johnny and Garbi gave Garbi and Casey 3 balls. Ty and Justine gave all their balls to Casey and Garbi, which meant that they ended up being the vulnerable couple because they had 10 balls in total. And then they moved on to the next game, which was whereby they would sort of slide a putt over across the table, and whatever point you landed at is the number of glasses of wine you'd get to splash at somebody. First up was Garbi and Casey. They got number one. And so they splashed Toby and Sydney. You had Andrea and Josh. They got one as well. They splashed Toby and Sydney. Lucinda and Isaiah got two. They splashed Johnny and Garbi. Ty and Justine got two. They splashed Josh and Andrea. And you had Josh saying, "Oh, I feel betrayed by Justine," and it's like, just as she did when you left her, and she was left vulnerable after not picking Ty. So please sit down. Ty, you had Toby and Sydney. They got one, so they went after Josh and Andrea, which left Josh and Andrea vulnerable. And then the last game was they would go up to this board and pick up these big cards, and depending on the scores that you had, or if you picked a joker, then you had 0 points. If you picked cards, they would add up your points, and then whoever got the highest, who got the least points was vulnerable. So first up was Garbi and Casey. They went for Toby and Sydney. You had Sydney and Toby. They got a joker. You had Josh and Andrea, they went for Toby and Sydney. And then Ty and Justine, they went for, they split their votes because they gave, 3 of their votes to Johnny and Garbi, 1 to Isaiah and Lucinda, and then 1 to Toby and Sydney, because they said they wanted it to be a tie and then go for a tiebreaker, which made sense in my opinion. I know Toby didn't say it that way, but I think it made more sense. Garbi and Johnny got a joker, and then Lucinda and Isaiah went for Johnny and Garbi. And this was strategic because all their 5 points went to Johnny and Garbi, which meant that Johnny and Garbi were vulnerable with Toby and Sydney. Ariana Maddox then arrived, and she said that, the Islanders had a chance whereby they could either play spin the wheel and put their fate according to whatever the spin is, or the other Islanders would get to vote for them. And you had Josh and Andrea decide to have the Islanders vote for them. Johnny and Garbi said they wanted whoever voted to see who was going to sort of vote them out. With Casey and Garbi, they decided to spin. So we left it on the spin, and I don't know who's going to go out. I hope it's Garbi and Sydney, really. I didn't want Josh in the finale, but I hope it's the two of them because I think they deserve to go out. The problem is if Josh stays in, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a menace. So I don't know how it plays out. I want it to either be Josh and Andrea or Garbi and Casey, because Garbi played herself. She really played herself. She thought she was playing a smart game, but it wasn't. Anyway, I can't wait to see what happens. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 14. Bye everyone.